You're a victim of the digital age, a 21st century casualty. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Conditioned by misinformation, it's just the media telling us lies. Decipher fiction from the truth, society's slow and tragic demise. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Everyone's got their fucking opinion.
What's happening, gang? It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, episode number 414. What the fuck? 414. What is going on? What's up, Vinny? Good to see you. Robert Hogg, Francis Sawyer. What can I tell you? It's been a minute. I needed a break. We were banging them out. It's good to take a little break. Get refocused. Get recalibrated. I hope everybody's winter is going well. You know? Val Bracken. Hey, Drew. Hey, Howard. Happy New Year. Hey, Val. Happy New Year to you, too. Hi, Drew. Hey, Gregor. Good. The gang's all here. Speaking of which, let's bring our friend and cohort, Lori Dawn, on.
Hello, and Happy New Year. I thought I like somebody who wishes Happy New Year in the middle of February. It's bold.
Happy New Year. They're probably the same people who got their, they probably still have their Christmas tree up.
I still have my Christmas tree up.
RS70S is show number 500 booked. Haven't even thought about that. I think it's at least it.
We plan on getting canceled before then.
Well, 12, 24, 34. That's like 2 years at least.
Yeah.
It could be close to 2 years off, you know. So
hey, Vinny.
It's not booked yet, but I've been thinking about it. You know.
Dreaming about it.
Dreaming. Yeah. Absolutely. And what else?
I'm just dreaming about the spring right now.
We went upstate and played some shows.
Yes, I want to hear about that. I want to hear about your tour up north.
Yeah, this is.
I want to hear about the weekends.
Well, this is this is how you have to dress on your upstate tour. Your upstate tour up north. Freaking freezing upstate, man.
What is Tristan with no gloves?
Yeah,
that's how you lose fingers in that weather.
We pulled him out of the bar. Him and Will. Okay. They were drinking. We were like, we got to take some pictures.
He was nice and toasty.
Yeah, what the fuck? But Albany was good. We played Albany a bunch of times. It was fun, but
always great up there. Great club. You played the Undergrounds.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. But the next day in Kingston, like we walked into this place and I was like, oh man, like really? The place was just a real dive bar with a nothing stage. And
those are sometimes the best places.
It smelled like puke. And I couldn't even hang out in the place. I basically spent it. But then incredibly, when we started playing, it was friggin' great. There you are, Scott. There's Scott Earth.
Yep.
Oh, basically what happened was
Scott Boards.
It was one of those shows where like all our friends that were there were up front singing along, including nice. There's Scott Earth doing his cameo in Breaking Point. Breaking Point. So it ended up being a really, really fun. It was a fun show. And
well, those are, those are sometimes the best places, those little dive bars that smell like puke.
Yeah. Well, it could go, it went this way instead of the other. It was a lot of fun. Like everybody was cheering us on, and it ended up being a lot of fun.
That's great. That's great.
Let's see what else I got. Yeah, here, drummer Mike. Sometimes Yeah, it was good. Hey, drummer Mike, there he is.
There you
Look at
go.
that. Hey, it was a blast. It was great. Yeah, there he is. The engine that drives the train.
And who was
Drummer
some of the
Mike.
bands you played with again? You played with some good bands.
We played with Faded Line,
Nice.
Prize Fighter,
Okay.
Brutality, Camel Up.
RBNX.
Oh, you know who was there? Listen, one of the great upstate pointers made an appearance.
Oh, nice.
The great pointers of upstate.
Joe.
Right. I mean, Joe's on sort of one of the great pointers. He's up there with Mark
Yeah.
Tulch, and even Scott Earth is one of the great pointers.
Great pointers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great upstate pointer.
Yep.
That's fantastic. And then
We
the
like
Scott
that.
in the background, I see. Yeah. Looks like
It was
everybody's
fun.
having a good time.
It was fun. It was a fun show, and yeah, here I am barking at the moon. Yep. Wow.
Look at your hair growing out of your hat there.
I know. My hair's getting long.
Yeah.
I'm not showing everyone my hair until it's long,
Right.
but it's growing.
We're expecting like 90s curls. We're expecting big things.
I'm going to shave my head in a couple weeks, but I'm growing it out in the meantime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Camel Up.
It's keeping you warm.
No idea what I'm pointing at, but I'm pointing. God damn it! That's right. It's like a emphasis. Like, yep.
Congratulations, Scott. I saw Silence Equals Death on a pretty cool show.
Silence Equals Death in direct support of Biohazard in Albany.
Yep. March 22nd on my birthday.
On Lori Dawn's birthday.
Yeah.
How awesome is that?
Yeah. That's going to be my birthday show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations, Scott. And Jeff.
Oh yeah.
Jeff, here's the other one.
Oh, we played Faded Line. Here's the other one. Hey, but I'm confused. Aren't basically the same guys in Faded Line and Silence Equals Death now? And you guys are both playing that show. How's it? Basically, what
like Silent Line? Are you guys going to stay on stage and just this get a haircut, hippie? Oh, just him. Okay, me and Carlo, the bass player. All right. Yeah, Gee, the whole band. I'm flattered that basically all of Silence Equals Death is watching the show today. Yeah, that's cool.
What's up, Carlo? What's up, Jeff? What's up, Scott Earth? It was good to see you guys, and I'm happy that you guys got hooked up.
Yeah.
Yes, Monster plays drums in Faded Line.
Yep. All of our friends playing. That's going to be a cool show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And just while we're here talking about shows before we bring our guest on, first show back in A7 is Sunday, February 15th. It's free. It's 16 and plus. It's a matinee, and the revised lineup is Incendiary Device, Silence Equals Death. Listen. I know the Biohazard Day. That's really great. Good for you guys. It's really cool. But get your priorities straight, boys. You're playing fucking A7. All right? That's what's up.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the real show.
Play in the room in front of 1,000 people. Okay, good. That's nice. But come on. Let go. Let that fart out, kids. Let go of that fantasy. A7, bro. That's what's up. A7.
Yep.
Don Foos making an appearance. What's up?
Wow. How you doing, Don?
Yep.
You got Sad Plant with their new record just came out.
Sad Plant. Fug It is now on the bill.
Yep.
And God's Favorite. So this is the first. Yep.
Yeah, it's a good lineup. Everybody check out that new Sad Plant record.
Cool.
It's a good one. They have it's 11 new songs. One of them is called Too Fat to Skate, which is becoming my favorite song.
Really?
Too Fat to Skate.
You know, they do a great version of Devil Went Down to Georgia.
It's on there. It's on that new record.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, so check it out. It's really good.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's after that?
It's going to be fun.
Oh, the A7 show after that is Non-Residents, Why Die from Philly, old school Philly hardcore, The Long Wait featuring Jamie from SSD and Mark McKay from Slapshot, Direct Order 82 featuring Tim from Ensign, RBNX. So the A7 shows are coming down. And then the third one is Rebelmatic, Fulano, Tree, Catching Hell, Oedipus Triple Rex. That's Sunday, April 12th.
Nice. So, you got a lot of Massachusetts sinking into those shows.
You got any Massachusetts in you?
Would you like some?
You want some? Oh, that's right. Hey, there he is. Are you excited, Rob? Rob's on the bill with Oedipus Triple Rex.
Nice.
Yeah. That's right. Catching Hell is Duncan, who sang People Who Died at the My War show.
Yeah, and Michelle Morgan.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Good.
So some good things coming up. Yep.
That's right. Do good things. Do good things, and you'll get screwed over.
No good deed goes unpunished.
I'm going to end the shows now with no good deed goes unpunished. Screw them before they screw you. Unbelievable. Fucking animals. All right. Well, we'll see you.
Okay.
We'll see you at halftime. We're going to have Larry Kelly come on and talk about some stuff that you guys have going on this Wednesday afternoon.
Yes.
All right. I'll see you in a bit.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. All right. Bye.
Take care. There you have it. What's up? Thanks for stopping by. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and we are sponsored by the Texas Silver Rush DTFM Vinyl Distro Generation Records, 126 Hardcore Clothing, Woman of the Pit, She Devil Coven, and Minty Fresh Presents. Minty Fresh Presents are a promotion company that put on hardcore metal shows in Locals Bar in Manalapan, New Jersey. Founded by Chris Golis, a.k.a. Big Polish, of Bulldoze, and Frankie DeAngelis of Silence Equals Death. The shows are all ages with plenty of free parking. The kitchen's open all night and the bar until 2 a.m. If you're a band looking to play and you don't totally suck, or if you do suck but draw a fuckload of people, reach out to them at mintyfreshpresents@gmail.com. Ticket pre-sales and events are available at mintyfreshnewjersey.com. Check them out on Instagram at mintyfreshnewjersey and help spread the word to support DIY hardcore and metal in Central New Jersey. Minty Fresh Presents. Their next, didn't they have a flyer for their next show? I got to dig that up. They just sent that to me. Here we go. Their next show coming up, I'll tell you what, is right here on Valentine's Day. Perhaps you are in the tri-state area and you're wondering, you know what? What can I bring my gal to on Valentine's Day? Something special. You know what? Let me bring her to full-blown chaos, brick by brick. Some band I can't even read their name on the flyer. Faka, Latino Hardcore, World of Chaos. Is that Taylor You and Robots and Monsters? Identify the band third on this bill. Anybody? We don't want chocolate. We want to go to a show. We want to see full blown chaos and brick by brick. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
If I told my wife, you know what? Listen, this is what we're going to do. It's Valentine's Day. We're going to get in the car. We're going to drive an hour and a half down to the Jersey Shore for full-blown chaos and Brick by Beck. Do I even need to do the imitation?
Please do, please.
You can fucking go yourself. You're kidding me, right?
Oh no.
The fuck out. I'm going out with my friends then. You go.
Look at Larry's comment. Any Valentine's Day has always been
Full-blown chaos. That's fucking romantic. Hey, speaking of Stephen Messina, who just chimed in, if you are, in fact, out in Long Island, wandering the winter wasteland, Saturday, February 7th, this Saturday, Serial Poets and Marley Bone and One Groovy Coconut are playing Kates of Smithtown. So get out there. Make sure you're there to see One Groovy Coconut and then Marley Bone and then local favorites.
Go for the music and stay for the ghost. That place is haunted.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, get out there.
You go. I'm going out with my friends.
St. Valentine's Day Massacre starring Drew.
You know what?
That's a good one.
You're kidding, right? No, like I thought let's get, it's only an hour and a half each way in the middle of the winter. Hey, you want to know something? Not to bring past lives into this, but when first time I was married, my wife, her birthday was Valentine's Day.
Yes. Okay.
And I tell you, talk about a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
I don't think one Valentine/birthday went by where there wasn't tears and crying and just, man, I that was like, I dreaded for years. Oh my God, here comes, I'm fucked. It would go bad every year.
Well, you know what? I have a little advice to all the women out there who end up in tears. Just buy yourself a box of chocolate and be done with it. Just buy yourself chocolate. You'll never be disappointed.
Fucking Valentine's Day.
And go for the expensive box.
All right. Thank God my wife's at work and she's not watching this show.
Okay.
All right. I'll talk to you later. All right. Let's do it. Enough of this pussyfooting around. Let's bring our guest on. Today's guest is an American publicist, musician, and music writer. Since the mid-1970s, he has performed with numerous groups, including the Slicky Boys and Half Japanese. As a music writer, he's contributed to a variety of publications, including the Washington Post, Cream, Spin, Your Flesh, Forced Exposure, Boston Rock, The Village Voice, and many more. As a publicist, he's worked for Columbia Records and Gem Records and now runs Howlin' Wolf Media. Here today to talk to us about the release of his new book, Discords and Descenes, an anthology, please welcome, coming at us from Morrisville, Pennsylvania, Mr. Howard Wuelfing. Hey, man.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good. I'm sorry it took me a minute to get you on.
I enjoyed listening. Good stuff.
I was very busy digging myself into a hole.
I feel you on that.
Yeah. How's things in PA?
They're okay. I mean, it's warming up. The ice is melting. It's kind of okay.
And you are a stone's throw from New Jersey, correct?
Yes, I could walk from, this is sort of the far west end of town. I could walk into Trenton in 25 minutes.
Right on.
So that would include walking over the Delaware River.
So you're centrally located. Philadelphia, Trenton, Manhattan's what, an hour and a half, 2 hours?
Like an hour and 15 if the traffic was good, if it ever will be good again.
Yeah. Yep. Well, good. I'm looking forward to getting into this. I really enjoyed it.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah.
That's why
But
we made it that way.
But let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
How did you come up? Did you grow up in a musical household? How did music come into your life?
Yeah, sort of. You know, my dad played accordion. Learned it as a kid, played it off and on throughout his life. You know, me, my brother, and my sister all had music lessons. I studied piano for years, did the whole kid recital thing and stuff like that. And then one day I said, "Hey, can I play this? Can you teach me this rock and roll song?" And they're just like, "Nope." And I'm just like, "I'm done." And stopped for a couple years and then picked up electric bass and really played ever since.
Did you grow up in New Jersey? Like where were your formative years?
I was born and raised in Jersey City, New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
Across the Hudson from Manhattan. And
Yep.
Jersey City's a place where basically we had subways running into Manhattan.
Mhm.
So from my, my earliest memories are, getting on the train, running over there. Oh my God, I can't believe you said that. Oof, burn me, man. Hopping on the subway with my mom and, my brother and sister and hanging out in New York. And when I was in high school, we learned some way to like play the transfers that you would get to go from one train to the other. So we usually wound up paying like a dime to get into Manhattan and out. So it's just someplace, that was just part of our life. Went to shows at Madison Square Garden all the time. Had a friend who lived out in the Jersey burbs. And so to get into school in Jersey City, he'd have to go through New York. So he would route basically through underneath Madison Square Garden. So he would just be at the ticket office first thing in the morning, snapped up everything you'd want to see in those days.
What was the first music that spoke to you that you felt was your music or that you felt really was yours?
Frankly, the first thing that really stuck out as being like mine as opposed to what everyone else listened to is I wound up making a trip to Journal Square in Jersey City to go to an underground record store. I got there. It was too much to take in. I felt nervous and wanted to leave, but I wanted to buy something. So I just bought the weirdest looking thing I could find, which was a record called Absolutely Free by the Mothers of Invention.
Oh, hell yeah.
Took it home, listened to that, made my brother listen to that, made my school friends listen to that.
Wow.
And that kind of opened everything up as to like, oh, okay, this stuff is good, but there's this whole shock of something that's just really, really different.
Sure.
And, that stuck with me. It's still with me. It's stuck with me my whole life. Things that were just like, what the heck was that?
Yeah.
Is always what I wind up loving.
Absolutely Free, you said?
That was the first one. Then picked all the rest up over time and got into Captain Beefheart, which was like the code word. When you'd be at a party someplace and just drop that name or drop a line. Yeah. People would be like, "Oh, you know," and suddenly,
Trout Mask Replica.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
replica. Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
No,
I'm a big Zappa. I'm a big Zappa. I don't know if fan is the right word, but I'm a big Zappa appreciator. He was an incredible and unique musician.
He was, and a complicated guy, and had a lot of really strong, powerful, useful views.
Yeah. Yeah, I once in a while, I think in a lot of ways the world misses Frank Zappa. It hasn't been anyone that's sort of stepped in like that. And parody these days is just almost non-existent.
Correct. Except for Weird Al.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's kind of like on a different level because it's made to be pleasing.
Yeah.
Zappa was not trying to please people.
Right.
He was trying to shake people up.
Yeah, for sure. Did you see him play at all?
I only saw him play once. It was the Felt Forum at Madison Square Garden. He was touring the Grand Wazoo album. So it's like, he had
Ooh.
a sort of mini orchestra that
Yeah,
he was playing with.
sure. I saw him a couple of times. I saw
Wow.
I saw him at the Palladium. I saw him in Boston. He played the BU Gym. He played Fairleigh Dickinson College
Okay.
and Rutgers, right? I saw him. No. He played Fairleigh Dickinson Auditorium Gymnasium. That's
Okay.
different than Rutgers.
Yes, it's an entirely different school.
I saw the Grateful Dead play in the Rutgers Gymnasium.
I saw Curtis Mayfield play at the Rutgers Gymnasium.
Wow.
And one of the great regrets of my life is I did not go see Parliament Funkadelic when they played there.
Wow.
Something that haunts me to this day.
Yeah.
But-
we all have a couple of those. Did you start writing? Was it both things kind of going head in head? You're picking up bass and playing music and playing in bands, and you starting to write. Did those both go hand in neck and neck as a teenager?
Yep, started doing both in high school. The high school I went to had, I think it was like a monthly newspaper, and I started playing. I mean, not in bands, but when I was in high school, I remember buying this horrible, cheesy white bass from someone who was buying a better bass, and stuck with that cheesy one for years till I went to college, and then traded up.
Did you and you moved to DC at a certain point, correct?
Yeah, after college, I moved to DC. Basically, when it was time to graduate, my girlfriend at the time said, like, so what do you want to do after you graduate? You want to go to law school? Because I was getting all these offers from law schools. I'm like, no, not really. I want to be a rock writer. She goes, let's move to DC, get married, and I'll get a day job and you can go for it. And that's how we wound up there.
But why DC? Excuse me, excuse my ignorance. Was DC the hub of musical activity to go become a rock writer?
No, it's because she was from Southern Maryland, and she had started college in DC, and she thought that's where I want to live.
Right.
And basically, it's like, okay, you want her to, you want to be supported this way. This is the deal. And I just said, I'll make it work.
What year did you arrive in DC?
1975.
Wow. Right as the shit was hitting the fan.
Something like that. I mean,
yeah.
The thing is, since I was going to school in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and I was the arts editor and started going to the New York clubs a couple of years before that, and I was really aware from like reading the Village Voice of the scene that was starting to bubble up there. The bands that were playing in the lofts, television and things like that. And right before I graduated, someone juked me into like interviewing this person, a rock poet who is coming to play New Brunswick. And I'm like, okay, I'll do this. They lent me the single. It was Piss Factory, backed with Hey Joe, and it was Patti Smith before she had a drummer.
Wow.
And I assumed before she had a record deal, because the only thing she had was this single that was on her and her guitar player Lenny Kaye's label. And rather like when I listened to Absolutely Free for the first time, I saw that and just everything opened up. Because you watched the show, there was nothing predictable in it. It's this amazing mix of like really gutsy rock and roll and sort of girl group drama and avant-garde poetry, and it would just spin one to the next. and it was seamless, and it was beautiful, and it was, it was mind blowing. And then it's like, okay, I'm like, okay, this stuff is good. I should go do this. Then it's like, oh, we're moving to DC. Oh well. And when I got to DC, it was really different because there was no punk scene going on there. DC, in fact, was a place that no one ever got signed out of, except for this guy Nils Lofgren. No one else got signed.
Did Nils get signed as Nils, or did Grin get signed?
Grin got signed.
Grin got signed, right?
But that was based on his songwriting, singing, guitar playing.
Sure.
The connection he made with Neil Young and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there were DC bands, but they were sort of glam metal, and most of them like moved away to really make it. And I was kind of feeling that this is terrible. I just left this place, and now there's nothing here. And when I first got to DC, I started hitting the record stores, because in those days that's what you did. That's where you found your people, the people who hung out in independent mom and pop record stores. And indeed, I pretty immediately ran into this guy. His name was Gordon Fletcher, and we were talking about stuff, because I already was like writing for people, and I had records to trade in, I'll be honest. And when I go to trade records, he goes like, "Are you a rock critic?" I'm like, "Well, I'm working on it." And he goes, "I'm a rock critic." I'm like, "Really?" He tells me his name. I'm like, "Oh, you write for Cream. You're like actually a real rock critic." And he was one of the rare black rock critics that existed in those days, professional ones. And so we became buddies.
Wow.
And one day, he just calls up and says like, "Hey, there's a punk show in DC with local bands. You want to come?" I'm like, "Oh, hell yeah, I'm in." And we went up Wisconsin Avenue, above Georgetown, and went to this, you're talking about that club you're at, dingy, stinky, smells like puke. Yeah, that was the Keg.
Oh, the Keg.
The Keg. Right. So, go to the Keg, and we see Overkill. Punk rock Overkill, not metal Overkill, which came a couple of years later.
Right.
And probably the Slicky Boys, that version of the Slicky Boys. And I'm looking around because there's cats suddenly like running around me here. They all came upstairs and they're thumping around. And it was like, okay, I guess we got some stuff going on. And sort of in short order, I was in a band called The Look at that point in time. That band broke up and splintered into various other DC groups. The Slicky Boys had broken up. I'm getting ahead of myself. I am sorry.
No, it's good. No, you're actually, we're all this talking. I'm not even. There's photos, but wait, there's photos.
Okay.
Here's a. Hold on a second. Sometimes I was just so wrapped up in it all. Young Howard with your brother and sister.
That's right.
Yeah, brother
and sister. She's still alive. He is not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
And The Look, you were in The Look and then I know you played on this Music to Kill By, right?
That is correct.
And was that before you were in the Slicky Boys?
It was. That was sort of when I got a little bit closer with the guys in the Slicky Boys. So we're at the Keg. This guy named Steve Lorber, who was managing the Slicky Boys, got them a residency there, and the Slicky Boys promptly broke up. And so that residency got offered to The Look, and we started playing there like on punk night, whatever it was, Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, dead night. And fought to get the dress code opened up because, they had show bands playing, people who played the hits of the day. And, we had to take a hard line saying like, we're not doing this dress code thing. That's not who the audience is. They opened up the dress code, and people started coming slowly but surely. We'd have, a pretty good crowd there because that was the scene. That was the only place to hang out. So
Right.
if you were into this stuff, that's where you went.
Mhm.
And everyone met and became friends, and all sort of bands came out of that. The first batch of DC punk bands, the pre-hardcore guys,
Right.
were all hanging out there. The guys in White Boy, True Facts, and the Insaniacs. What was it called? Nicky Butane and the Lighters, I think they were called.
Nicky Butane and the Lighters.
Nicky
Love
Butane
it.
and the Lighters. Nicky Butane, his brother was the drummer of Talking Heads,
Wow.
Roddy France.
Wow.
And there you go. We did that, and that
So-
was the
so-
scene originally.
Talking to Ian Mackay, and I've had a lot of DC people on the show, and a lot of the early DC people always heap accolades and cite the Slicky Boys as an incredibly important band. Why is that?
Because Overkill probably was the first punk band in DC, but they came and went really quick.
I see.
In fact, they played a couple gigs, and the lead singer, Barney, went to Chicago to study to be a composer. So
Mhm.
they were just gone instantly.
Right.
And the Slicky Boys, they did break up, but then reformed, I think, within a year. When
Mhm.
I joined, and a new drummer joined, and they kept at it, ever since, for years and years and years and years, and
Well, they seem like, in a lot of ways, sure, they weren't a hardcore band, but there was a lot of DIY ethos there, and they were a beloved band that really interesting that they really inspired the Ians and the Henry Rollinses of the world that to kind of get out and go do it yourself. And yes, this and the band White Boy too is cited quite a bit. But Slicky Boys, and I've had a couple of them on the show. They're a beloved band, and I guess is it? I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like in New York City, the Stimulators were sort of a bridge to this later younger hardcore scene that came along.
okay.
You had sort of the earlier punk bands, and the Stimulators were a band that a lot of the early hardcore kids went and saw, and that was sort of a bridge. I feel like the Slicky Boys, kind of the same thing. A lot of the young kids were going to see them, and they created a bit of a bridge and inspired a lot of people to go out and form bands and do stuff and take a run at it.
Well, I've heard that in New York that there was kind of a divide between sort of the first wave of punk rockers,
Yeah, right.
and then the hardcore kids.
Yeah.
In DC, it didn't go that way.
Mm.
I mean, it's just more people were coming up, but there wasn't this sense of who are these guys? Why are they here? We don't want them. It
I see.
was, oh, it's more people. It's new blood. It's more kids. I mean, my band, The Nurses, had the Teen Idols open for us because, the sense from very early on was, we were fighting to exist.
Mm.
We were fighting to exist. We know no one really wanted us there. None of these bands. We had to fight to get into these clubs. And so if you showed up, you're part of the family. It's
Sure.
you're the younger brothers. And yes, I was on that one. I lived basically across the street from that ice cream parlor in Delphi, Maryland.
Wow.
The end of New Hampshire Avenue.
Is that you standing in the back there?
No, that was the guys. That was the original lineup.
Ah,
though I am on that record because
Right.
there was the stuff by the original lineup, and then a couple guests came in to like do stuff as well, and I was one of those guests.
Gotcha.
But yeah, there wasn't this great divide. I mean, the people like Ian and Henry, when they were like in high school, they'd come up to Rockville when I was like working at a place called Yesterday and Today, a record store,
Mm-hmm.
and they would just come in and like, hi, we're working on having bands. And it's like, oh, that's great. Oh, do you want to hear our tape we made? Sure, let's hear your tape. It was, we were encouraging them. I mean, because it was just considered we're making the scene bigger. More people are getting involved. The idea was we wanted a working, actually, that's from Rahway, New Jersey.
Rahway.
Yes, playing a noise fest that a guy named Bruce Galanter put on. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, the idea was, we were trying to build something that would subsist.
Yeah.
We're trying to like encourage the fans, to say like, here we are. And that's one of the points of Descenes, was to like make this more visible to people.
Right.
Make this more visible so that, if we got into a club, enough people show up, they would like let us put on more shows.
Daniel Nice 7277. There were almost no venues for early DC punk. Later, there was 930 Club, DC Space, Wilson Center, etc. But I guess just from what I know, being somewhat of a historian, I guess like Madam's Organ came a little bit later.
Before the 930 Club. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, Madam's Organ.
Yeah. I mean, a little bit later from what you were talking
after
about.
The keg.
After the keg.
Keg ran its course, and then they just didn't want to have anything more to do with it. And we were just scrabbling for gigs, and anyone who would get a gig, whether I was in the Slicky Boys or then in the Nurses, if you got a gig, first thing you did was, you got someone to, you got one of the other bands in town to come and open for you.
Yeah.
The idea being that, we would help build the other guys' audiences, and hopefully then they would help us, and we'd just go back and forth.
Sure.
And we just build it and make it stronger and make it self-sustaining, which eventually that happened.
And here you are in the Nurses.
That is correct.
And tell us about your relationship with Don Z and Tara.
Well, now if I'm remembering all the stories correctly, the Slicky, Don Zientara was a friend of the guitar player of The Look, because Don in those days was in the AV department of the National Gallery. And the guitar player of The Look, Richard Goldstein, worked in the arts. His main gig, day gig, was hanging exhibits. So they were friends. So we decided we were going to do it like a demo tape, because Don worked in AV. We're like, could you do this for us? And I'm pretty sure then we introduced him to the Slicky Boys. Don then recorded the Slicky Boys live. And then from there, it came more and more like, well, can we do studio recordings? Like basically in his basement in South Arlington.
His first recording studio was in his basement.
Yes.
Which, from what I understand, he's back there now.
He's back there now.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep. When the city of Arlington eminent domained the neighborhood Inner Ear was in and tore it all down so they could build an arts and commerce district. Why keep a studio that's known around the world in place? Like, what would that have to do with that? He moved back in, and I think it took him a minute to get comfortable, but I just saw Don at the beginning of January, and he's pretty happy now. He's pretty happy working there. First, he was just going to do mastering and mixing, but he's recording people again.
Yeah.
And frankly, he did full band recordings, right from the start. I remember, producing things down there like the Shirkers and the Reindeers, recording with the Nurses, and recording with the band I had with Don, Under Heaven, with Ian as the recording engineer, all in that basement.
Yeah. There's this is the
the back of the Nurse's 7-inch. Yeah. Engineered by, Don, recorded at, 1979.
Yeah.
Wow. This is all before the word hardcore was even invented.
Yeah.
And Discord, no, Descenes
Yes.
came first.
Yes. So basically, the media, both the major media and the alternative media in DC, really were not covering this scene. They just weren't that interested. It was very underground, and these things are businesses. So they're focused on the bands that were making, had followings and making money and filling the small clubs. People like George Thorogood and folks like that. And
Right.
they just weren't that interested in this.
Right.
They would cover underground stuff because I wrote for the local alternative paper at that time, the Unicorn Times, but it was about New York bands or English bands. But we wanted someone to write about this, and actually the inspiration came from, I was on a trip to New York and I came across an early copy of New York Rocker,
Right.
when it was still being put out by Ellen Betrock, the originator of it, and just looked at it and said, like, wow, I've never heard of any of these bands. It doesn't look like any of them have record deals. And I came to realize, oh, the people writing these articles are guys from other bands. Like, that's great. Why don't we just adapt that for DC? We'll just write about DC bands and nothing else, and try to spread the word in town, because that was the idea, to spread it in town.
Yeah, I in my notes, heavily influenced by New York Rocker, since no DC publications were writing about punk except for the occasional quote unquote safety pins and dog collars mention.
Yeah, the Washington Post did that.
Right.
Something about punk fashion, and
right.
Heard about my friend Patty Reagan, and just this goofy, dismissive piece.
Yeah.
So we just did something about it. That's all. It's like, they're not going to do it. That was the ethos of the time. Just realizing, like, if you want something done and the powers that be are not interested, just do it yourself. Just do it yourself. Don't wait for someone to save you.
100%. And so what was the process, the early and the first, and we'll get on to sort of the compilation, the book and which is fantastic. I really love how the book is put together. I really appreciate the format that the book is put together.
Yeah, that's down to my wife, who is, co-owner of DeWolf Publishing. She did all the heavy lifting, all the scanning to make sure that this stuff looked the best it could. A lot of the design problems she solved, her and her art director Orlando. And when the first proof came in, I was just like, wow, this is far beyond anything I could have believed.
It's great.
It looks like we care. It looks like we care about the contents of this.
Well, I'll tell you, 100%. Yes. I like the format. I like that it's big. And a lot of these sort of anthology collections are, the text is very small and the layout's very small. I really like that it's a big book that you could dig into. The first issue that you did was January 1979. Pretty cool.
Yep. Well, the thing is, in this anthology, that's these magazines at their original size. That's full size. That's the size these things are. And which cost us, because you can't do something like that on print on demand, which is you set it up, you put it in the system, you can order it and bang, one by one, no muss, no fuss. This was all offset printing.
So this was the original size.
Oh yeah.
I was going to ask. Okay, so this was the original size of the fanzine.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. And who was Mark Jenkins in all this?
So when I moved to DC, I was writing for a magazine in Philadelphia called Concert Magazine. And when I told them I was moving to DC, they said like, "Oh, you should form a DC bureau." I'm like, "Okay." And they're like, "Here, reach out to these two guys, Mark Jenkins and Richard Harrington." And so I did. And Mark Jenkins had a fanzine called Hyperion, which I think he was just letting go of at that point in time. Richard Harrington, who later was the music critic for the Washington Post for many years, was the editor of the Unicorn Times. So I met those guys on day one. Mark and I both wrote for the Unicorn Times. Mark and I both did production for the Unicorn Times. I did Paste Up, and Mark worked the offset camera. And so when we started doing the zine, we already had the skills. We knew how to do this. We had experience doing this stuff. And basically ran it all off under the radar at a place called the Chronicle of Higher Education. So we, let's say we didn't pay for anything. We didn't pay for typesetting. We didn't pay for running things off. We didn't pay for, making the halftone prints of the stuff. They donated that unwittingly.
Yeah. Right.
And so Mark did a lot of the artwork. Mark's one of the other main writers, and he continued to write for local papers, from the time of these zines onward. So he was a major co-conspirator. Really, the three main people were my now late ex-wife, Tina Sickle Moore, Mark Jenkins, and myself.
Gotcha.
We did all the heavy lifting, and we did a lot of the creative stuff, the writing of things.
And early issues, how would you get them out there? Would you sell them? Would you hand them out? Did you put them on consignment in record stores, or all the above?
Well, from day one, having worked, with newspapers and seeing how this stuff played out, our idea was to get the word out there. So to do that, we made a decision to pay for the production costs, pay for the printing, because there were no production costs. They were donated, with the advertising. So no one got paid for writing. No one got paid for doing any of the work.
Right.
But the printing was paid for by the advertising. And at that point, we just decided we're going to give it away. But having worked in record stores, I could see the free giveaways sat on the floor by the front door. They would get wet when it rained. People would wipe their feet on it. So we decided to put a cover price on it and let the outlet keep the money.
Wow.
So even though it was like a dime or a quarter, they're still like, "Oh, well, that's my quarter," and it worked. So these things always wound up being on the counter.
I like
because money in the pocket.
I like this. This is different. I like this.
Punk rock thinking, man.
Yeah.
How do you make this work? How do you not get tossed aside?
I can absolutely dig it. And
appeal to greed.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I think we operate with what we do up here with our, to a certain extent, is that make it free. People will come. A crowd will come. People will buy merch. People will support. Make the shows. We have fought tooth and nail for the shows to be free, and some people just don't understand it. Why are the shows free? It's because all the bands play in front of pretty big crowds, and it draws a lot of people, and people are there, want to support, and in turn they will buy a T-shirt, they will support the band's music, and it leads to other things. The mob rules. So I like that. I give it away for free, but but let him charge a little bit for it, and they could have the money. But still, that's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
I mean, and so like at this point, well, hi, Danny. At this point, I mean, there's none of these things left. I mean, when I moved from DC, I didn't
Right.
have piles of these. They were all gone on day one.
Right.
I mean, so my archives is like maybe there's 5 of this one of that one, 2 of that one.
Sure.
I know they wound up in various archives, like the DC Punk Rock Archive, the University of Maryland Fanzine Archive.
Is that where you got these from?
No, it came out of the basement.
Oh, I see.
They came out of a Tupperware container in the basement.
So you had a copy of each issue.
Yeah. Have like 1 to 5 of each of these issues.
I see. Got it.
So they're all scanned from originals.
Got it. Yeah, and in there was 6 issues.
Yes.
Of the first fanzine, and in going through it, what a personal highlight, which that I enjoyed, that really interesting, was a article, a Bad Brains article, where you go down. I think you went to their house and where they were living, and do a Bad Brains review, and that's in December 79 issue. I mean, that's early on in the game. Do you remember like how the Bad Brains came across your radar screen and how the first impressions put in there? It's a great article, but that was early on, 79 Bad Brains. Wow.
Well, first of all, I should say that article was written by a guy named Dave Finley. But I'd heard of the Bad Brains because...
Yes, you're right, Dave Finley. I'm sorry.
Because Kim Kane of the Slicky Boys had seen them play a basement show and had like done a live review, before this. And you got to remember, DC's a small... Like I said, it's not a big band town. So everyone's hearing about everyone else pretty quickly. It's like people are hanging out in record stores talking about what they saw, whether it was at someone's house or wherever it was. Word traveled quick, and because there was a contingent of us that really wanted to be supportive of like whatever was coming up. It's like, okay, you want to be part of this? Cool. So there was always that attempt to like find people, connect with them, support them. From like day one.
And I love the in the same issue. There's the reviewer rips the Teen Idols in a live review. They rip Ian and the Teen Idols. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, not that, and self-admittedly, those guys won't say we were great back then, but it's kind of funny to see, the Teen Idols get slagged off. But that's pretty.
Yeah, that was by Mary Levy, right?
Yeah.
Who had her own fanzine called The Infiltrator. And she had her perspective on stuff.
Sure.
She's trying to be like sort of trend forward, thinking about like what's happening in England right now. So not so much thinking like, okay, here's some kids. They're trying to do this. They're making an effort.
Right.
I mean, is there some good here? It was more like, basically, she's comparing them with like people with managers playing real venues.
Yep.
Already have record deals, which is kind of cool in a way. It's just like that's the standards we're holding each other to. So you'll see, like Descenes doesn't spend a lot of time like kissing people's butts.
Yeah.
Because we're expecting everyone to attain their best. And we believe that they can. And if they're not doing their best, pointing it out with the idea that, okay, they'll try harder and they'll get there.
I'm just looking for that.
And by God, I mean, I remember back in the day seeing like Bad Brains open for The Damned, and The Damned just got shut down. I mean, they got shut down. I mean, Bad Brains, like, in their early heyday, were just such a powerhouse. I mean, the performance was so dynamic, so acrobatic, and just so intense and precise and fast at the same time. Next time they come through, The Damned, you know who opens for them? Minor Threat. It's like, oh, poor Damned. It's like every time they come to town, it's like they got shut down by like to my mind, some of the best punk bands that ever existed, period. Not knocking anyone else, but I think those guys are up there, in the top whatever.
Just as a side note, we listened to the new Damn release in the car the other day.
Oh, cool.
It's all covers. I guess it's a tribute. It was a bunch of covers, but we really enjoyed it. They do an old Pink Floyd Syd Barrett song, which was very cool.
Nice.
See Emily Play. They do Summer in the City, and it's great to hear Vanian singing this stuff. It's done very well. That said, why did it only run for 6 issues, and why did you wrap it up after 6 issues? Only to come back with Discords, which ran 8 issues.
Well, like I said, we started this because we had a mission in mind. It wasn't because we needed like an outlet to write for. Jenkins and I were writing for people already. We didn't have to work to get our stuff published. We did this because we had a very specific end in mind, which was to help foster, a living, functioning music scene in DC where everyone was looking out for each other. Everyone's giving the new guy like a leg, or girl a leg up. Everyone's giving advice. Everyone's mentoring, because they're trying to let's bring the whole thing forward. And by the time you get to like issue 6, it was feeling to me like, okay, it's not working because a lot of the people, I came up with in bands were like, no, we want a career. We want to get a record deal. We want to tour out of DC, probably want to move from here to a more happening city. And I was just like, it didn't work. People didn't get the message. You'll note when you go through this, not only do we print the issues in their entirety, but each one has an introduction that, I wrote 2 years ago at this point in time. And one of the points was, my wife just said, like, we need some more content, write introductions. But to me, it was a chance to look at these things and understand the context, seeing how it developed with philosophy, and then what our philosophy and also what was actually happening as a response to these things or in conjunction with them, to see what things we got right, to see what things we got incredibly wrong. And there was plenty of that. To be able to admit that, to see where we're being unreasonable. And it's spelled out in the in that introduction. We just we failed. But at the same time, I think it's also in the introduction. It's like we thought we failed, but this whole idea of having a scene where everyone's looking out for each other. The people who were my age at the time weren't doing that. Then all these people who are about 8 years younger come along and they go kaboom, and they're doing exactly that. They're doing that. They're making this thing like that's their culture from day one. And
interesting.
How that happened, you'd have to ask them. I'm not going to sit around and say like, well, it's because you could ask them about that, where they got that from.
And I have, and we have on this show. We've had a lot of early, we've had Brian Baker and Ian and Pete Stahl, and it just goes on and on. I've had a lot of DC
DC people on the show. Really interesting incubator.
It was.
It was. Really, knowing what I know from being a part of the early Boston scene, knowing New York, DC, really interesting. But of course, many similarities.
Oh yeah.
There are many similarities.
So the point of Discords was, so we're thinking about Descenes, what we're trying to do. So DC, underserved, underrecognized scene. Descenes address that directly. And then the idea becomes, okay, let's just look at all the other scenes that people are ignoring. They're being underserved.
I see.
And so we're talking like New Jersey, Milwaukee.
And that's why in Discords there's sort of like scene reviews from other cities.
Yeah, each issue would have a series of scene reports.
Yeah.
Boston, Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Olympia, Washington, Detroit, just, from all over the place.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Yep.
It's like anyone who said like, hey, I want to talk about like my scene, like bring it on.
Yeah.
And it's wild seeing who some of these people wound up being.
Absolutely.
I mean, for Boston, I'm sorry.
I just want to mention real quick that the QR code that's up on the left, scan it. It'll bring you to the book to purchase it from DeWolf Publishing. So just heads up, that's the QR code. It is a fantastic anthology. I really enjoyed it. So I just want to let everyone know that's the QR code
cool.
as we're doing it. So okay, Eddie's.
Just for a second. So if you scan that QR code, DeWolf Publishing is downstairs. My wife's laptop. Every issue that gets ordered gets hand numbered and hand signed. I can attest to that.
That's awesome.
I'm the one who has to do that.
That's awesome. That's great.
Every single one, because in the end, we are collector geeks.
Amy, are you downstairs watching the show right now, Amy? I know Steven's watching it.
Yeah, Steve's watching. No, Amy's at work.
Okay.
Amy had to go into the office today.
Hey, let me take a sponsor break.
Sure.
And let me do a sponsor break for a couple minutes, and then I got to chop it up with Lori and Larry about some upcoming things, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about Discords, and we'll talk about what's happening and a bit about the future. Okay.
Right.
See you in a minute. That's what's up. Howard Wuelfing's our guest. Discords and Descenes. That's what's going on. A word from our sponsor, and we will be right back at it.
Since 1992, Generation Records has been a mainstay of the New York metropolitan area music scene. Today, they offer a diverse selection of new and used rock, jazz, indie, hip-hop, punk, hardcore, metal, blues, soundtrack, and reggae LPs, as well as t-shirts, posters, and other merchandise. They buy used record collections and music memorabilia and will pay you top dollar for them. House calls made for large collections in the tri-state area. Call or email generationrecords@gmail.com and follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
Will that be cash or in debt?
Do you mean debit?
Yes. Sorry. Another eternally satisfied customer.
Yo, what's happening? I'm out here at one of our all-ages Sunday matinees on the Bowery. I hope that you are enjoying today's show. I just want to let you know that the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live needs your support. Please step up. There is a Patreon page that has a lot of unique program. Shows are announced there first. Lots of good stuff. There's a PayPal address right there on the screen if you want to make a contribution. There's also a super chat function. You could do that, but the bottom line is this show exists because of your support. We're going to be doing it for a long, long time. Thank you for all your support through the years. Back to the show.
Conditioned by indoctrination, conditioned by society. You're a victim of the digital age, a 21st century casualty. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Conditioned by misinformation, it's just the media telling us lies. Decipher fiction from the truth, society's slow and tragic demise. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Everyone's got their fucking...
And we're back. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Hey, want to mention some upcoming shows this Sunday. Yes, Super Bowl Sunday. But don't be scared, kids. For those of you that are lovers of the game, the show ends at 5 and kickoff is at 6:30. Pepper Keenan of Corrosion of Conformity and Down will be on, co-hosted by Lori Dawn this Sunday, February 8th. A week and a half later, Steve Berlin from Top Jimmy and the Rhythm Pigs, Los Lobos, the Blasters, the Flesh Eaters will be on. Excited about Chris Wren and his Fenway Punk book, Sunday, February 22nd. More to come. Just announced this the other day. Some friends did a documentary about beloved music venue, Hank's Saloon in Brooklyn. So Leon Chase, the director, is coming on, along with Benjamin Howard Smith, who was a guest on the show fairly recently from the Brotlow, and a good friend of ours, Lee Greenfeld of Dead Flowers Productions, will be coming on to talk about this documentary film that just came out. Steve Blush has a book, When Rock Met Hip Hop. He'll be on Sunday, March 8th. Excited about old pal Frank Farrar coming on the show. Of course, longest tenured Guns N' Roses drummer. He was in the Beautiful, Psychedelic Furs. Great guy, fun New Yorker. Bill Stevenson, Sunday, March 22nd. Dee Dee Verney, co-hosted by Lori Dawn. Actually, hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Are you excited? I know you love
I'm
Overkill.
excited for this one. I am bringing all the thrash metal here.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one. This should be a good one.
And then we got this one on Sunday.
Right. And we'll be out in plenty of time for you guys to watch some football thing.
Honestly, honestly, hey, what's up, Dom? Hope you're well. Alan Tecchio in the house, New Jersey Metal. Saw the trailer, excited for you, buddy. Go get it. Go get some, you and Frank White. I know Pepper's management expressed a little concern about it being Super Bowl Sunday, and we reassured them that probably a very small amount of people that watch the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live are hung up about the Super Bowl on Sunday. So
yeah, hands up if you give a shit.
Yeah, right. Hands up if you even know who's in the Super Bowl this year. Anyway,
I actually didn't.
Right. Okay, so Dee Dee on March 29th. This has yet to be announced. Probably announce it tomorrow. Had such a good time with Brian on the Bob Weir memorial show. Brian Fair of Shadows Fall is going to come back on, and we're going to talk about heavy and hard music, and probably
looking forward to that one.
And probably a little Grateful Dead. He is a passionate Grateful Dead fan.
Yeah.
Then we talk about documentary films. Joey from DOA, his film, and then we got Wayne from Hatebreed coming on Sunday, April 19th. So yeah, fuck football. We want hardcore.
That's right.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep. There you go. Yeah. That said, let's bring our good friend and cohort, Larry Kelly, coming in from Bridge. Are you in Bridge 9? Where are you?
No, I'm somewhere else right now. But I'm sick with a cold, so I'm in the.
Oh, you're one of these people that are sick with a cold, and you don't go outside and breathe in everybody's face.
Oh God, no way! I don't want to do that to people. Too nice a guy, I guess.
Yeah, you're a rare breed, bro.
Yeah.
Because you know, basically in my world, it's if you're sick and have a cold, you're supposed to go out and breathe in Drew Stone's face, and that's a given.
I mean, if I was there, you would already had it. So.
Yeah. And so if anybody is
just for future reference, if you're sick and you have a cold, mandatory.
Yeah.
Find me, breathe in my face. And my wife loves it too when you breathe in her face.
You know, you get them both, you know.
You get them both.
Two birds with one stone.
Eddie,
One
two,
stone.
two stones. Two stones with one bird.
Yeah.
That said, you guys have a lot of stuff going on. Take us kind of through the tour, and I'll produce.
Okay. Chronologically, the first one is this coming Saturday, February 7th. This right here. This is Chris's book release event at Bridge 9 Records. How Boston indie label scored big on baseball's greatest rivalry. Going to be selling the books at the event. It's going to be narrated, moderated by Jared Carabas, who is a very popular Boston Red Sox podcast, like huge popular. So he's going to be there and all his people. And we have some artwork and ephemera from the old rivalry days of all the shirts Chris made. And
yeah.
It's going to be pretty interesting. And it's a great book. You've read it. I know you're going to do the show with him soon, but I'm hoping all our Boston area people can come down and check it out. It's going to be Saturday. It starts at 7.
And this is at the Bridge 9 performance space.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
The Bridge 9 Amphitheater.
Right. And then next up, I know you are involved these days with Gogo Bordello, our good friend Eugene Hutz. What do you got going on here?
This is their record release party at the Silver Lining Lounge, which is down near the Bowery Electric somewhere. And they're doing a show with Puzzle Panthers and Pawns and Mary Shelley. And I think Gogo Bordello is going to do a couple of songs. There's some special guests going to be happening, and it's going to be a pretty cool night. So the place is a real hoity-toity place. It's not like a shot and a beer place. It's more like caviar and wine. But
okay,
you know,
I'll steer clear of it.
We can hang in places like that.
And then
this is we're keeping the secret lineup under wraps because we've done so many underground shows here. Sort of, we put the word out. We don't want to be inundated with selling it out that quick. We just kind of want the word to linger out. But if you've seen anything we've done at Bridge 9, Agnostic Front, Cave In, H2O, you played there, Drew. Newfound Glory. This is going to be a special show. A buddy of mine, Tom, from Germany, made this book. And this book coming out on Iodine Records, free stickers with every order. And it's basically all these different bands and the history of their stickers. And it's a really nice book. So what we're doing for this is you come in the store, you buy a pre-sale at the store. That's your RSVP for the show. When the show happens, when you show up, that's when you'll get the book.
And there is a very special performance.
Yes. So you'll get the book during the show, which is 2 months before it actually gets released. So you really don't want to miss this show. I mean, we can't say the name of the bands.
The last time we did this whole thing. It was Agnostic Front and the Agnostic Front SSD control. So take my word for it. If I'm sitting here going like this, something big's going down.
If Drew is having a seizure, pay attention.
Exactly. It's one of those things that people go, I didn't know. It's like, well, you know what? Just going on our track record.
This is your hint. You ready?
Yeah. Your hint. So if you can't figure it out, I don't know what to tell you. So come in and buy the book.
Yep.
The pre-sale of the book. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday. Yep. We have the Chris Wren art thing Saturday also. Right. So come in and get the book. That's your RSVP.
Buy the book. That's how you get in, you bums. Yeah. Lori, what's happening with this?
Yeah, so and then our next art market at Bridge 9 is going to be on Saturday, April 18th, which is also Record Store Day. So you're going to want to be there anyway for all the great releases. We're going to have a bunch of artists in again. I'll be there. Timmy Tanka will be there. A couple of new people, Jeff Pixel Palmer, Michelle Morgan with her jewelry. So this is going to be a great day. And yeah, so just come on in and bring a lot of money for both records and art.
Yeah, I have a.
The holidays aren't far off, kids.
Yeah.
I got a good friend of mine.
Bring some extra money.
This kid, DC Connolly, is a really good artist. Like,
yeah,
real high end stuff. So
yeah, over the next couple of weeks, we'll start, we'll start revealing some of the artists that are going to be there. But it's a really cool lineup this time.
But this is first, though, Larry. This Saturday.
Yeah, this is Saturday. Then we get February 13th, 2 days before our first back at A7 show.
Oh, back at A7.
Yes.
So you're going to be doing this on Friday and then coming in, and we got this on Sunday. Back, the birthplace of New York hardcore.
Yeah, and then the sticker book thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, you want to go, and then the art show.
Yep. All right.
Now, one last thing. The guy who did this book is coming in from Germany, and he's ready to hang out and meet everybody. And we're going to put on a good show for this guy. And we're going to actually have an after party for that show because the band wants it. The two bands. And it's going to be at the Bit Bar in Salem. We're pretty sure. The same place we did the Agnostic Front after party.
Was that the one with all the video games and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I like that place.
Shit's going down.
Yeah.
Shit's going down. This is going to be...
Shit is going down.
Yeah, no, that place is really cool, actually, in Salem. It's a lot of the old-time video games and pinball machines, so it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right, you guys.
Thanks for letting me hype this stuff up.
And, of course.
Howard's killing it. A really good show today. So
yeah.
I'll see you guys in a bit.
All right, we'll talk to you in a bit, Larry. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Got any German in you?
No, thank you.
9. I don't sprechen Sie Deutsch. Schnell. All right.
See you later.
All right, we're back. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Let's bring our guest back on, Mr. Howard Wuelfing. Hey, man. Thanks for hanging in there through that chaos.
That was cool. I had crazy cats basically sweating me for food, so I had to run downstairs.
You're a big cat lover.
I am a big cat lover.
Yeah, I am too. I am as well. How many cats do you have?
Right now, 2.
Male, female?
Both male. One's 4 months old. The other one is about 13. And he is a mess. He's got glaucoma, so he gets drops twice a day. He's got diabetes, so he gets shots twice a day. And he's kicking the kitten's butt.
I had a Siamese, a female Siamese that lived 21 years.
Wow. Bless you.
Siamese cats live a long time. Okay, back on track.
Okay.
Any your thoughts on the early DC hardcore scene? Any favorites of yours? Any unsung heroes?
I mean, sadly, my favorites are entirely predictable. Minor Threat and the Bad Brains. I still remember the first time I heard a test pressing of. I mean, the first EP was great, ripped, so solid. It's like, this is great stuff. First time I heard In My Eyes, and I'm just like, game's over. All us old guys, let's get out of here.
Right.
Because these guys just changed they just made something new. They made something shocking and new, and all hail. They were great live. Some a fair amount of times I would always stand in the girl pit because I didn't want to get, because you know what, I don't go to a gig to get messed with. From Jersey City, it's like, you know what, if I wanted to go out and fight, I'd go out and fight. If I'm here to see a show, don't provoke me.
Was there a lot of fighting? Was it violent in like the? I mean, I know, and I've talked, and
Right.
you know, I've talked to Ian, and I was around then, so I know they. But we're just having a conversation, right? But there was always sort of like interlopers showing up, or like jock guys that kind of thought this was a place to get in and hurt people. There was always that element early on. So I guess, but DC doesn't really have a reputation of being like this incredibly violent scene like Huntington Beach with those guys, or New York or whatever, but it existed.
Well, I mean, the way that went down is, number one, all the people like, you know, like Ian and Henry and Jeff and stuff like that, just because of where they lived, you know, they'd go hang out in Georgetown.
Right.
You know, there's coffee shops and ice cream shops and record stores and clothes stores, and it's where you go to hang out when you're a kid. And that's also where all the military people went.
Right.
Because there's a bunch of military bases in that area. And the military people, you know, let's be honest, part of the gig of joining the military is you need to be brainwashed, because you have to work as a unit. If you can't work as a unit, everyone's going to die. It's really important. So it's really important that you can work as a unit to be effective. And, you know, you're ready to like die for each other. This is some serious stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like a joke. But the problem is they don't teach you how to turn it off when you get out. You know, when you're like not in duty, when you're just on the street.
Sure. When you're amongst in civilian life, when you're on furlough.
So they're looking for targets.
Right.
You have punk kids were targets. They stuck out. They clearly were young.
Right.
They stuck out. So they got messed with a lot, number one. And then a certain amount of those people would show up at gigs then. And like you said, it's like they're thinking, this is fun. This is what we're supposed to do. You know, this is our chance to do this stuff. You know, because they want to fight. There wasn't a ton of it. Just enough. And frankly, I just didn't want to get mixed up in that stuff.
Sure.
You know, I remember the first time I got slammed, it's like a band I was in, the Nurses, put on a show that was called the Unheard Music Festival. It was for everyone in DC that couldn't play out. So that was everyone who wasn't of drinking age, i.e., every hardcore band that existed, and B, anyone that was really weird. So that would be like the Young Turds from Fairfax, Virginia, and like everything in between. And so, you know, we're in this room, and there's like a column standing there in the middle of the room, and I'm not going to name who this is, but a well-known figure just goes plowing into this thing, and the column goes flying out. It's attached at the top, not at the bottom. I look up and I see the ceiling starting to sag, and I'm just like, oh, I'm jam it back in. And then I just stood there for the rest of the night having someone bounce off me. And like at that point, I'm like, okay, this ain't happening. Again, I'm from Jersey City. So I'm just like, you know, elbows up. You want to come and get some. It's okay. But why did you not do that?
It wasn't your thing. I got a little quick thing, a tie-in here. In 1982, I came down with the Boston crew.
Okay.
Because SSD Control was playing this show at the Chancery with Iron Cross and Government Issue.
Okay.
And the Chancery, and it in doing my homework, you did work a little bit. You wrote for Forced Exposure, and here is a shot standing outside in the street in Georgetown. That's my back to the camera, and I'm talking to Jimmy Johnson, who started Forced Exposure. We came down together from Boston, me, Jimmy, Joe Sackout, and a couple others. So we came down, we made the trip. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Here's another shot. We were hanging out in the street in front of the Chancery. Here's another similar shot. There's Jimmy Johnson, who started Forced Exposure on the left. There I am. I was a teenage skinhead. And here's a shot of inside the Chancery. These are taken by Bridget Collins. These incredible, sometimes incredible talk about documented history. This is inside the Chancery. That's government issue on stage. And in the crowd, you could see Ian in the middle on the bottom. You could see me kind of above him in the black shirt, and just a whole cast of characters. So in talking about Georgetown and that scene there, I have a personal connection to it. I was there. I remember we came down to DC a couple of times for shows, and it was a very vibrant scene. But Georgetown was interesting. It was a lot of college people. Right. A lot of it was DC had an interesting dichotomy. It was cool.
Yeah, I mean, because they're actually, I mean, a lot of the population are government workers.
Right.
A lot of them are transitory because, if you're in Ohio and you're a government worker, you do your time in DC to sort of make your bones and be able to move on up. People kind of come and go. So they're, hey, Steve, say hi to Sean for me.
Hey, Steve.
So there's that. You've got a number of major universities: American University, Georgetown University, George Washington University.
Right.
There's a bunch of those. And in those days, because that's back when urban centers were falling apart, you'd had parts of town that were sort of banging, like Georgetown, and you had places like downtown, let's say 930 F Street, 9th and F, where things were kind of desolate. And that's why you got to put a club there. Because no one was going to complain about the noise or about the weirdness, because no one's there at night.
Yeah. Yep. In Discords, I enjoyed the Black Flag interview, which is done by Ian MacKay, and really, really interesting. It's Ian and Henry interviewing the Black Flag guys, a band that Henry would end up singing for, soon after. This has, I didn't know this is has incredible historical significance here. It's really interesting. Henry's interviewing the guys from Black Flag, and he's going to be in the band very soon.
You'd have to ask Henry or Ian to get the dating on this correctly. But they did the interview, and they played DC. I think the next day they played New York, and they did the interview either in DC or in New York.
Right.
And sort of Henry made his connection then, and then got invited out there. If you go through the Discords, you'll see there's a letter from Henry saying, "Hi, I'm in California now. I miss you guys."
Oh wait,
it's so cute and sweet.
Great, and I quote out of my notes: "Great Henry letter after joining Black Flag, calls TSOL fake." It's great. It's a great letter. He's writing back saying, "I'm in Black Flag now. I'm out here. We're making a run at it. It's incredible. I miss DC." this is such a precious time capsule. It's so important historically. This and other similar, like Mike Gitter's Triple X fanzine was put out by Bridge 9 and Schism, and it's great seeing this stuff not lost to the swirling sands of time. It's important. As a bit of a historian, I'm happy to see that stuff.
No, it's when you go through the zines, say like Discords, love Descenes, Discords. Again, it's like looking at underserved scenes around the country. Fascinating to watch people making all these connections because there's no internet. The internet's like 30, 40 years down the line. People are actively looking for each other to make connections. People are writing saying hi, I'd like to send in a scene report. Would you run it? And it's like, sure. You see who is doing the scene reports. Minneapolis. It's Husker Du's manager. Who's doing it for Boston? First, it's the Count Viglione, who was back in the day, he was one of the big guys.
And what's his name? Gerard.
Yeah, he hands it off to Gerard Kozloy. It's like, you look who does the Detroit one. It's Dave Stimpson, who did Touch and Go, and then his buddy, Tesco V.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, all these people, and I'm not taking credit for this, all these people were actively looking for, where are the other people out there? Who are the believers? Who are the supporters? Let's find these people. And there was a concerted effort that's just starting at this point. And to me, that's one of the things that's really cool about this magazine. You're seeing the beginning of this national culture where you've got little clubs who are willing to book bands, not on major labels, no tour support. You've got bands who just want to play. So they'll go and play these places in a van or in the back of a car.
Mm-hmm.
You've got fans who are willing to go out and see people they haven't heard a note from. They just know it's a band from out of town. They want to check it out. And one of the references, who are these guys? They're reading about it in these fanzines.
Right.
People forget fanzines. Magazines made by fans. They're not getting paid. They're doing it for the love of it.
And also, you mentioned that back then and I'm sure now in certain realms, but you would anything coming out on the Discord label, I would buy as a teenager because that's where it's coming from. Anything that's mentioned in here, I would go check out because that's where it's coming from, and that's my tribe, and those are my people. And there was a lot of that back then. It was word of mouth, so to speak, somewhat. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't this thing.
Right. No, everyone was conscious of the fact that we're trying to connect people up. If you look in Discords, you'll see after the singles review, so it's all indie singles.
Yeah.
That there's the addresses of all these places.
Yeah.
Because you weren't going to find them in record stores. You'd have to write them. You'd have to write and send them a check or a money or money order or whatever.
A money order. That's what you do. You got to get a money order.
That's right. And same things for fanzines. When you see fanzine reviews in there, all the addresses are in there because the whole point is, here it is. Oh, someone's saying, what's the best way to buy the book? That's to scan this QR code up in the corner there.
Also, it's available at DeWolf Publishing, which is It's just Google it, kids. DIWULF Publishing, DeWolf Publishing, and it's right there on the cover page. Along with DeWolf has put out some books by many of our other friends and guests that have been on the show, including Mike McGrahm from Channel 3 and Dave Scott Schwartzman from Adrenaline OD, and they put out a lot of great stuff.
I would have to agree.
There it is. I'm sorry. DeWolf.com. Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah. Thank you, Val. Yep.
So to see this culture sort of just starting to take place,
Mhm.
And it's DIY. Like all these things are DIY.
That's right.
And like over the next 10 years, it gets to a point where it's just killing it. I mean, the bands are great, the labels are great. I mean, it's just the clubs are great. It's like it's just so vibrant, so powerful. There's so much amazing original music, like labels. I mean, Discord, Touch and Go, Drag City, just weird, visionary, intense stuff. And this is like this is the beginning of it right here.
And I enjoyed this sort of this family tree that you put together.
Right.
I guess it's safe to say it's kind of sort of bands that you were involved in for the most part.
Okay. So first of all, the reason that's in there, this is Amy, the publisher, co-owner of DeWolf. She said we should have this in there.
It's cool.
Now, reason
it's very
in
cool
there, because it's also in the book.
Yeah, that's right.
Is because a copy of that was framed sitting in the hall at Inner Ear Studios, the big studio in South Arlington, throughout its existence. If you see pictures of the hallway in like Inner Ear, you'll see this. So it's like, here's your copy that you can put on the wall if you want to. But that was in the first issue. So it's just documenting what existed then.
Ah.
Where those guys came from.
Was this in the very first issue?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, if you go through the book, you'll see it there. It was the centerfold.
Yeah.
And that's why Don Zantara could like pull it out, frame it, and stick it on the wall.
That's very cool. It got me going. I grabbed a pen and a paper and I started sketching out some stuff. And boy, that's a maze of stuff. It really is an incredible maze of stuff. I want to ask you about sort of your later career after all this. You went on. You worked with.
Can I stop just for a second because there's the publisher.
Oh.
Hey, hon.
Yeah, I'll do a commercial break.
Oh, she's gone. Sorry.
Oh, isn't she watching the show?
She's at a big work event.
Right. No excuse. Later on, you worked for Gem Records for 4 years and Columbia Records for 12 years.
I did.
In what capacity? How was that experience? After coming up in a DIY world, moving into the corporate music world, in retrospect, your thoughts?
Well, the reason that happened is at a certain point, I became a single parent and I was like, basically making a living working in a record store, writing live reviews for the Washington Post, which meant, you'd be out every night doing that and playing in bands. And being a single parent, I could not work 24/7. I had to work 8 hours. And with my skill set, getting a gig as a rock writer was tough then. Now it's even tougher. So skill sets like talking to writers, writing stuff, knowing music. This was the job I could get 24/7. I mean, the job I could get that would be a full-time gig. Gem Records was at one point it was like the big dog of American independent distributors. They were the big rock. Oh yeah, Columbia Records.
Yeah.
Bruce Dickinson, yeah, baby.
Yeah. But go on. I'm sorry. Go. I jumped ahead to Columbia, but go on about Gem.
That's okay. They were the big dog. They were the major importer of rock records, in the world. And I came on. I got this job and helped get some bands signed because, like the Swans, Dreadful and the Din from Boston, and some other stuff. Got to work with a wide range of weird and great people. The Angry Samoans. I mean, this to me was like a big, this is a big deal. It's like Angry Samoans. Of course, I love those guys, and stuff like that. But and it was a little dog corporate thing, but it was still corporate, so it was dirty. It was a dirty gig.
Mm-hmm.
At one point they fired me because they had money problems. They fired me. I went to the president and said, this is unacceptable. I uprooted my life. I moved to this godforsaken place to do this gig. I brought my friggin' son with me. This is not acceptable. Figure it out. And they're like, It's like, you don't mess with Jersey City. It's like, you figure it out. Go back to my desk. And they call me back in a half hour. It's like, okay, you're going to go work in the sales department. You're going to send telexes. And, you got some insanely big pay cut. I'm like, okay, still got a gig. I'm okay with that. 2 months go by. They're like, we're looking for some press on this guy. Can you do just a little thing on the side? I'm like, well, I'll have to ask my department head. And after about 6 months, they're just like, we'd like you to do publicity again. I'm like, good. I need a raise.
Yeah.
Over what I came for. You messed with me. I ain't doing it. I'm happy doing this. There's no stress. I'm just typing. I studied typing in high school. I'm a great typer. But it was dirty. When they got taken down, I'm not going to name names, but it was like, you could see that the guy who took him down was mobbed up, and he was smooth.
Oof.
And he just took it apart and sold it for junk. And
Right.
so Columbia Records,
How did that come in? Yeah.
I went from Gem to this weird entrepreneurial company in New York where we were dealing modern art, making music videos for the karaoke trade in Japan, and dealing vintage guitars to Japan. And I was in charge of synchronization licensing. And it was great. It was really easy. It was 2 hours of work per day. And I just sat there with the rest of these clowns, watching TV the rest of the day, because my job took me 2 hours.
Mm.
I mean, to turn around the whole business of getting things cleared, which was behind. It was way behind. And the Japanese were very angry with that. I turned it around. I got caught up. I jumped ahead. They loved me. And, I'm at a place where basically we're drinking beer from 4 p.m. onwards because there's nothing else to do, unless we're dragging a Warhol out of the closet, literally, and taking it down the street.
Mm-hmm.
Or people are saying hey, it's Friday. I'm going to go to this bar. Who wants some Coke? It wasn't Coke. It was crank. It's like, how much is it? It's like $5. I'm like, okay, $5, sure. I'll do that once a week. And I just said, this can't last. This is too goofy.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting away with too much. And so I started looking for gigs, and they needed an alternative publicist at Columbia Records. And I happened to know, oh yeah, be real.
Were you working at Columbia when they broke that the first Cypress record?
Oh yeah, I was a publicist. Yeah.
That was a great record, great run, great job, man. You guys did a great job with that record.
It's funny because I was just talking to Joe the Butcher the other day about this, and I remember when they were making the presentation about Rough House Records.
Mm-hmm.
So I get called into this meeting. Walking into this meeting, I'm the weird guy. That's my gig. I'm the weird guy. So I'm sitting there. I'm looking around. It's like all the big guys from distribution, the big guys from that. I'm just like, why am I here? I'm not on this level. Mm-hmm. What am I here for? And they start playing Pigs, and I'm just thinking yeah, this is a good track. Yeah, I'm feeling this. I feel the message. I totally get it. I'm cool. And they start president of the company of Columbia Records starts going around the room. Well, what do you think? This is anti-cop. We can't do this. This is horrible. This is violent. I don't like this. And suddenly he looks at me. I'm like, like a manager, a publicity manager, like the lowest guy on the totem pole. What do you think of this? I'm like, I don't see how this is any different from Jefferson Airplane saying up against the wall, motherfucker. And he goes like, that's exactly right. This is the same thing. Freedom of speech. I'm just like, that's why I'm here. I'm here to basically say what no one else is going to say because they're all looking to make money. And I'm just the troublemaker who just gets it. It's like, it's a new generation. It's a new voice. It's a new batch of people wanting to say like, don't mess with us. We just want to live our lives, be happy, take care of our families. Just don't mess with us. And there you go. I worked with them for a long time.
And was Iron Maiden on Columbia or was his solo album on Columbia?
Solo record.
Yeah, because I worked with him.
Solo record.
I worked with him around this time also. His solo record was, he was on that. I did some stuff for that, which was on Columbia also, that Nativity in Black Sabbath tribute record. Right. I produced the Biohazard video off that, and I also directed the EPK of that record. That was Bob Gepardi's thing. And so I interviewed Bruce Dickinson for that EPK at the Columbia Records office at the time. Yeah. Very cool.
Excellent. Biohazard. I remember getting them on Letterman.
Oh, wow.
Because not them straight up, because they were on like Warner Brothers, I think, at that point in time. I was working with a band called the
Executioners. Yeah.
Right. And this is the point where this whole like crossover thing's going on.
Yeah.
And I pitched the Executioners with the Biohazard to Letterman, the Letterman booker, and suddenly there they were. And
I remember that.
It's one of those moments where things are just so beautifully surreal and disruptive.
Yeah.
And working for Columbia, it was a dirty gig. I mean, you'd see people who would fall afoul of intercompany politics, and their career was just like snap like that. Yeah. Just like, nope, you're wrong, out. And they wouldn't even tell you. And that's why
it's similar to the film business.
Yeah.
Just Hollywood, it's similar to that bullshit. And it's horrifying.
It is.
But as a young person, you're more apt to navigate that terrain. Knowing what I know of the music business and having done the Michael Alago film and learning a lot about A&R and oh god, it's all so ugly. A&R guys all claiming they did this and they did that and
Well, the thing is, when I was there, I saw what was going on. I saw what they would do to artists. Yeah. I really worked hard to do my best to never mess with people. Mm-hmm. If they needed to be tipped off, to tip them off. If there were managers who couldn't get into the building because no one would accept their call, I would accept their call, and I'd say, yeah, send them on up.
Right.
I would do that.
You were,
when the books would be like, stop working this record. It's not a priority. I would just keep working it. And it took a lot of energy because you have to deliver on what you have to deliver. But I would try as hard as I could to always work something as far as I could to give them their shot. And when I left Columbia, it was deep in my heart that I will never participate in quashing the dreams of a musician. First and foremost, never discourage them. Always be honest. Always be transparent. Always make sure that when I deal with them, that they come away from it feeling like, I got a square deal. This guy gave me a fair shake. I can do this again.
You're a rare breed, my friend. Before I take a quick sponsor break, and then we'll come back and we'll take some questions from around the world. But any fond memories of that era, like working for Columbia? Did you work with any artists that you just feel were just true artists, and you really enjoyed, and it meant a lot to you personally to be able to work with them on a professional level? I know for me, there's working with Run DMC and getting a gold record for it and doing that. There's certain artists I've worked with that just meant a lot to me. Just I love them as artists, and then I got a chance to work with anything like that.
There were a lot of cool moments. I remember I wound up being the in-house contact for Public Enemy because
there you go.
No one else wanted to. They're just like, you'd work with them, aren't you afraid of them? I'm like, no, I love all their records. They're great. They're one of my favorite bands.
Sure.
And having Chuck D come into my office to hang out, and I'm giving him tips as to how to pose to look the best he could. He's like listening to me, like, dude, you got a double chin, man. You want to like go this way, and then you're not going to show it off. He's like, are you saying I got a double chin? I'm like, yeah, you do. I'm just giving you the hint as to how you hide it. I worked with Cypress Hill for like 5 records.
Wow.
To watch the build on something like that was was great.
That second record, holy mackerel, what a monster.
They made
Insane in the Brain and all that on that second record.
They made a lot of great records, and it's fun to help build something.
Sure.
I remember when we got them on, I think it was Saturday Night Live, and of course I got banned for like busting up at the stage afterwards. But so to take something to that level again, to help create one of those disruptive moments. For me, part of what's interesting about life, part of my mission is, they lay it out like this is how it's going to be. It's all predictable. That's it. There's no options. And to help manufacture those moments of option where suddenly it goes off the rail. Suddenly it's like, oh, wow, we just broke out into free space. It's recreating that feeling of seeing Patti Smith for the first time when she didn't have a drummer. It's like, wow, suddenly everything is possible. That feels so good to feel that everything is possible. Work with a guy named Jeff Buckley from the day he signed. They basically called me up, said like, we have to do a signing photo. Get a photographer ASAP. Get down here. And I meet this guy, and I'm just thinking like, oh, I can't believe this is so corny. The Tim Buckley's son, like, who cares? And I'm just like not feeling it. And like his A&R guy, Steve Berkowitz, afterwards is like, I want you to check this guy out. I think you would get him. I'm like, okay. He plays at this place called Shanae. I'm like, okay, I'll go do that. And I go down there and like see him do this solo set, and it was like stunning voice, great guitar player. It was mainly covers at that point and songs he'd written with Gary, forget his name, the guy who had Gods and Monsters, or does have Gods and Monsters. And it was just like, well, this is stunning. And then, like watching it grow from him by himself to him with the 2-piece band, him with the 4-piece band, go from playing Shanae and Wetland.
Gods and Monsters that played with Beefheart?
Yeah.
Oh, Gary Lucas.
Gary Lucas, that's right. Yeah, who wrote the best songs on the first Jeff Buckley album. Just look at the credits.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, just look at the writing credits. He wrote, I think, 3 of those songs. Yeah.
Gary Lucas, who played in the last version of
Beefheart,
Beefheart. He was in
Yeah.
played on the last record. He was part of that last touring band. I did not know that he wrote those songs. Did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, Jeff was a member of his band, Gods and Monsters.
I did not know this.
And those songs were Gods and Monsters songs that Jeff wrote with Gary.
Gary Lucas is still around, right?
Gary's still around, still an astounding guitar player, hustling.
I got to get Gary Lucas on this show.
Yeah, he's got some stories. I mean,
yeah,
I forget, he was like, I don't know. He had all these amazing scholarship grants and stuff like that. He was mentored by major conductors.
Yeah.
He was a wild guy, an amazing talent.
From Syracuse. I'm reading right from Syracuse. He got an English degree from Yale.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to be in Jeff's band, but he couldn't negotiate the contract to his liking because he also has an ego as big as his talent.
Oh, he's one of those. He's one of those guys. He's an incredibly talented musician, but he doesn't really play well with the other kids in the sandbox. So,
he wanted to be able to be. This is what he told me years ago. He wanted to be able to be at the front of the stage alongside Jeff.
Sure.
He said, and his reasoning was Page and Plant. That works.
Right.
Jeff and Gary. That works. And he wouldn't sign off on not being able to do that. And you listen to the songs he wrote, and you listen to his guitar playing, I kind of see his point. Great player.
Wow.
Brilliant.
I'm going to do a deep dive on this.
Look at the bands he's had. I mean, his bands have been like his backup players have been guys from Television and the Modern Lovers on a pretty consistent basis. Guys from Husker Du and Perubu.
Right.
I mean, the band he had that Jeff sang for, that was Tony Mamoni from Perubu and
Billy Fica from Television was in Gods and Monsters.
He was at one point. Not at that one. The guy from Perubu and the guy from the Feelies, I think Anton Fear.
Oh, wow. There you go.
I mean, so it was a band of equals. Anyway.
Okay. Let me take a quick sponsor break, and let's come back and let's take some questions from around the world.
Okay.
I'll see you in a minute. That's what's up. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Our guest today is Howard Wuelfing. Get your questions together. Post them. Let's get at it. We are sponsored by blah, 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 and the Texas Silver Rush. They're a jewelry design firm and boutique store located in the birthplace of the Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. They specialize in working with musicians in all music genres to design and create unique one-off pieces, as well as to style them for stage, album covers, promo photos, and social media exposure. Their client list includes Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Greg Rolle, Ringo Starr, and of course, Agnostic Front. Information on online sales is being taken at their Facebook and Instagram pages, and of course, www.texassilverrush.com. Come on now, 126 Hardcore Clothing is a streetwear brand for restless individuals who don't compromise like you, my friend. They're about being positive, spontaneous, and true to yourself. For years, they experimented with several printing methods and materials and collaborated with a large number of designers and illustrators, always giving room for fresh perspectives while retaining the hardcore attitude. Keep in touch with them. Ramp up your weak-ass clothing game. www.126clothing.com. Last but certainly not least, She Devil's Coven is a female-owned entrepreneur business based out of Connecticut. Owner Rachel King Keys handcrafts soy wax candles set with intentions for your sanctuaries. She's accomplished a life goal dream since beauty school, debuting an artist showcase, Heidies and Hellions, that features live bands, burlesque, sideshow acts, vendors, food trucks, and this year a live auction with all proceeds going to the mental health program Punk Rock Saves Lives. Catch her in the tri-state area doing her thing, slinging candles at events, and keep an eye out for her show coming to New York in the spring of 2026. You can find her on Etsy and on Instagram. That said, any questions? Go deep, get weird. For our guest, Howard Wuelfing,
post them, please. Come on now. The anthology is out now, and it is available at DeWolf Publishing. So any questions? And leading up to that, just want to mention this Sunday, of course, Pepper Keenan's on the show. And a week from Sunday is the first A7 show. So that said, let me bring our guest back on. Hey.
Hey. So I'm going to be seeing you in person soon, right? In New
Yeah,
York?
that's right. Thank
What's
you.
What's that about?
Thank you for reminding me. You are coming to New York, and I am moderating this very cool book event at Generation Records. It is Sunday, April 26th. It's a Generation Records book event and Q&A. Howard is going to be there talking about the book, along with Shauna Kenny and Rich Dolinger. They have a book called Live at the Safari Club, which is interesting. And I was behind putting this together a little bit because there is a bit of a tie there because the Safari Club was in DC. And I thought that you would be a great addition to this. And another sort of sideways tie-in is Mike Bullshit's Bullshit Monthly Fanzine anthology is in the alternate universe. You know, he was doing his thing a little bit later on here in New York City, and you were doing it down in DC. So this is Sunday, April 26th. It is the same day as the second Straight Ahead show, but this event goes from 1 to 3, and then we will be heading over to the show. And I'm looking forward to doing this dance with you live at Generation Records. Have a question from you, from Larry Kelly. I have a big question. The Africa Corps band had Kenny Highland in the band. You played with Kenny Highland? The Kenny Highland I know from up here in Boston. He's an iconic Boston person.
Other than on the Africa Corps sessions, I didn't play with Kenny, but Kenny had joined the Marines.
Oh, wow.
And he was stationed outside of DC. So he was, on the scene. So, yeah, I knew him. Pretty sure I'm pretty sure that he did some writing for Descenes while I was down there. Again, we did the recording on like Africa Corps. And I know he was one of the people. So this is just like a brief aside. So at one point, again, I mentioned we're just doing everything we can to like get some punk action happening in DC.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was working at the Unicorn Times, it was downstairs from a club called the Child Herald, which was where people like, when they were coming up, people like Bruce Springsteen and Emmylou Harris and all those people played. Eventually, we got to play there eventually. But before we got to that point, just because we're, kind of hanging out, talking to the person who booked them and said, like, you should do some of this punk rock stuff. She's like, well, like, who should I get? I'm like, you should get the Ramones. That would be a great idea. And so not only do they get the Ramones, they get the Ramones to play 5 nights in a row. And this club is dinky. It's a dinky club. They're in there. They bring their own PAs, which basically goes to the ceiling, and each thing is about 3 to 4 feet wide. Front of the stage. The place is packed every night with the same people. Because if you want to see because this is it. It's right there. And they were, this is the original Ramones. They're at the height of their powers. It's like materials like from the first and second albums.
Sure.
It's amazingly loud. It's one of the reasons I have tinnitus. And worth it. And like Kenny was there every night. I mean, everyone who played in DC bands after that just about were there for all the shows. And they were amazing.
Could you tell us about this music project that you were involved in, Under Heaven?
Yes. Oh, look, it looks so cute too. So I broke up with my first wife. I got an apartment with this guy, Richie Labrie, who was a drummer from Johnstown, Pennsylvania. And we were introduced by a guy named Greg Stremka, who was later on, he was in a band called Raging Slab.
That's
But
right.
before that, he was in a band called REM that had to change their name to Yugoslavia because they'd made a deal with another band called REM that whoever put out a record first could get the name.
Wow, that's an interesting deal.
Yes, and the DC ones lost the deal. So this was after the Nurses had broken up. I think after the guitar player had died of an overdose, which was a heavy thing for a lot of people. You can ask even Ian about it. Hit everyone really hard. And so we were like looking to put a band together, and really quick. So we had a whole program I put together. That first we started by playing on Connecticut Avenue after hours, just playing on the street so that you could get as much abuse as possible and just get used to it. And then stage 2 was, okay, now we're going to improvise a set. And then we played like a real gig, I think at DC Space, and had to improvise the entire set. And stage 3 was, okay, now I'm going to write songs and we're going to get a guitar player. And the guitar player was Don Zientara, who I'd known for years, recording at his place. When I was doing these magazines, I lived in South Arlington. Don lived in South Arlington, fairly close by. And so he was an old buddy of mine. I knew that he had been in folk rock bands beforehand because his lead guitar player formed The Look. So we all knew each other. And I knew he's one of the sweetest, smartest guys I've ever met. And then we had this band. Wrote the material, played on a regular basis, more regular than I think anyone can imagine anymore. Because these days you don't do that. In those days, you formed a band to play. So you played your goal was to play every weekend, and we just
every weekend. I look back at the gig kind of log I have from when I was an Antidote in the late '80s and early '90s. We used to play New York City 3 times a week. There were places to play. It was a very live music driven era.
Yeah. So Under Heaven was the band that I had with Don. We wound up opening for REM and the Bangles, and opened for John Cale.
Wow.
Which was like this. I say that, and all these things, well, not all of them. Playing with John Cale was mind-blowing. These other things, these were just like other people on the way up at that point in time.
Yeah,
but
sure.
It was
in retrospect, you can look back. We played with REM and the Bangles, but at the time, playing with John Cale had some currency.
Oh,
that's fantastic.
Hanging out with him in the dressing room, just like I still have my Velvet's records that he signed for me.
Woo! Was Ian involved in the production of the Under Heaven music? Was he involved?
Yes, he engineered it, and he engineered it. I mean,
because Don was playing.
Yeah, Don was playing. Yeah, Don's the one who said, like, "Oh, let's get Ian. He'll run the board while we're like playing."
Ian knows how to run my board in my basement. He's been down here 30 times with his bands already.
Right, exactly. And that band broke up because Don had a motorcycle accident.
Right.
And by the time he recovered, he was given a choice to have the band or have the studio.
Right.
And he chose the studio, and clearly chose wisely, because you look at the legacy of that studio, it was amazing.
But doing my homework, I just see that you guys were getting some momentum, and you had that you had a track on an early Sub Pop comp, and
We did.
and there was a little momentum there, and sadly, I guess Don had his accident, and it took the wind out of the sails.
It did. And something like that happened, in relatively recent years. Like Don just called me up one day, and always take Don's call because, again, he's just one of the nicest guys, and imaginative, open-minded, kind of visionary. And he calls up and said, like, I think we should get the band back together. I'm just like, no one wants to see that. Ain't gonna happen, man.
Right.
And there was a memorial for a guy named Skip Groff, who I worked for.
Sure.
He ran Yesterday and Today Records, and
yep.
I showed
a beloved DC figure.
Oh yeah. I mean, he nurtured and funded a lot of stuff. You can ask Ian about that; he'll tell you all about it. He was a great guy.
Well, he stanked on like all the early Discord stuff. That's how I know the name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he produced some of it, very early stuff.
Right.
And so I'm at this thing, and I really had not been around those folks in a long time, and suddenly I'm there, and everyone's there, and I realized how hurt I had been having to leave. And I just relented and said, like, okay, let's do this. And that meant driving 4 hours to rehearse at Inner Ear Studios. And, we worked up a set and played Black Cat, and Ian and Brendan Canty showed up.
Nice.
It was, it was all good, but there was friction with the drummer. He immediately quit afterwards.
Fucking drummers, man.
Yeah, kind of okay. And we got another drummer, and then lockdown hit, and that slowed things down. And when we finally started sort of getting it back together, they issued the order that they were eminent domaining that neighborhood and knocking down the studio, and Don just had to focus on dealing with all that stuff, emotionally dealing with having that, just the rug pulled out from under him. So we wound up like recording 2 tracks, that lineup of the band, which we put out in whatever obvious places there are for digital music and streaming.
Sure.
It's in those places.
Yeah. Have you seen your Hardcore Legends trading card?
No. Oh God.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah. And the back is
from people's books.
Yeah, the back is very cool. Check out the back.
Who did that? Did you do that?
No, that's me. I'm busy doing this shit. No, that's Josh Hurst. The back is very cool. Howard's journey into music journalism began in the 1970s with his high school newspaper, and then in college writing for the Rutgers paper. He has written for the Washington Post, Cream Magazine, Spin Magazine, Your Flesh, Forced Exposure, Boston Rock, The Bob, The Village Voice, Zoo World, Jersey Beat, and many more. Very cool.
Wow.
Hey, is Josh Washington?
I think I got his email.
Josh Hurst rules. Yeah. Josh. Oh.
That's Steve.
Yeah, there you go. There's Josh. Hey, Josh, reach out to Howard. And he did this. He did this one, which is cool. Because he does these rookie cards now. So although I happen to, it's a cool rookie card, but I actually know that this, there's your rookie card.
Wow.
Although this photo is you when you were playing in, is it Half Japanese? Half
Under
Japanese?
Heaven. Nope, Under Heaven.
Under Heaven, right.
That's my Under Heaven shirt.
Right.
Like torn apart, falling apart, secondhand.
Right.
Under Heaven shirt.
There you go. As we head down the home stretch. I want to just say, Robert Hogg in Scotland says, I'd like to thank you all at DeWolf Publishing. I ordered the AOD hardback cover limited edition through yourselves, and Dave from AOD. I got the book here in Scotland, and it was signed by all the band. So that said,
Excellent.
I want to remind everyone that this is the QR code to purchase the book, Discords and Descenes, an anthology. It is fantastic. I really, really enjoy it. It's an incredible time capsule of that era. And of course, our guest is Howard Wuelfing, the author. I highly recommend the book. Everybody go out and get it. And I want to thank everybody at DeWolf Publishing for supporting what I do, and you too, Howard, for steering a couple of your clients onto the show, which was very cool.
When appropriate, try to do that.
Yeah.
You know, you've created like a great thing, very distinctive.
Thank
and you know, always want to respect that.
Didn't you the guy from the Rousers was that was a great show. He was awesome. That he was great.
And he had a good time.
He was great. And you know what was great, and I was really looking forward to is because the Rousers is a band that they existed in a realm that's not talked about a lot, which is sort of the great Gildersleeves and some of the different Maxes. And they were one of those. There was a very vibrant circuit between great Gildersleeves and Maxes and Hurrahs, and they were one. So he was great. He was great.
Excellent.
On the show. What are your plans for the future moving forward for the book and elsewise?
Well, you know, I'll be up participating in the event with you at Generation Records in April. We're going to be doing an event at the DC Public Library, the branch that houses the punk archives. And that's to me, that's a really powerful thing, because to the best of my knowledge, most cities don't really try to preserve and honor punk as a culture, punk as a mindset. You know, for so many people, it's just like a fashion, or you know, a really sort of narrow stylistic thing, and really doesn't recognize what a useful life-sustaining sort of philosophy or perspective on dealing with the world it is. You know, when punk arose, I mean, here's my take on it. This was a time where the American dream for white middle-class people started falling apart. The whole idea, you go to college, you get this job, you move to the suburbs, it just kind of fell apart, and it wasn't working anymore. The whole idea that you would get, that anything you wanted would come to you. Someone was going to take care of you. The company was going to, you know, give you a pension, and the government has your back. You know, a lot of people suddenly saw like it wasn't going to go that way. That if you wanted stuff to happen, it was on you. That you're the one who's going to have to do it. Television, think about it. They're looking for a place to play. You know, no one's going to book them doing this weird arty music. They find this crappy bar, you know, on the Bowery and say like, we'll come and play here for free. We'll build the stage for you. I mean, that's it right there. And to like keep applying that, you know, through your life. I mean, punk is not just, I mean, it's a bunch of stuff. It's a bunch of stuff to a bunch of different people, but I think at its core, it's just that feeling that you're not the victim of someone else's indifference. You know, even if they're trying to make you the victim of their indifference. You know, there are things you can do. You can change your fate. You could make something out of nothing. I mean, Descenes is an example of that. We didn't have the equipment. We didn't have the money. We didn't have any of that stuff. And we've managed to access the equipment. We managed to get people to flow us the money. It's funny. I'm looking in the mag, and I see a thing saying, "We reserve the right to terminate any advertisements, that we wish." Is what? It's it's kind of mind blowing. We're pretty friggin' nervy when you think about it. We only survived because people would do this, and even then, we're saying yeah, if we're not cool with you, it's not gonna, forget it.
Youth.
Youth.
It's of course. I remember when the heyday of the music video days. We're only doing music videos for bands that are righteous and true and that we believe in. Right. Yeah. Sure, that was nice for a minute, but other things come into play.
I mean, there is reality, there's survival, there's taking care of your people and your fams and your community. But have that in the back of your head that when you're up against the wall and there's no one that's got your back, that you still remember, I still have my own back. I've done this before. I can do this again.
Yeah.
Somehow, not Pollyanna, it's all going to turn out okay. No, because you got to work for it. You got to think hard. You have to change every day.
Well,
that's what I think.
Well put, my friend. I very, very well put. And I've said often that early punk hardcore DIY ethos that I learned as a teenager, I still carry with me to this day, and it shines through in this show, which is right along that avenue. I do it because sure, there's other things I could do, but I enjoy doing this very much because it's my thing and it's DIY, and I'm not answering to anybody, and I have a lot of room to do what I want with who I want when I want, and that's precious to me.
As well it should, and it shines through.
Yep. So thank you so much, Howard. And
thank you.
I look forward to seeing you in New York at this
Likewise.
Event on April 26th, and we'll do this live.
Excellent.
All right. Anybody you want to thank? Anybody you want to shout out?
Well, I'd like to thank my wife, Amy, for everything, for making my life, in some ways, even in this hellscape, a dream. The realization of every dippy romantic poem you can imagine. I thank my son, Severin, for being as smart and caring and wonderful as he is. My daughter-in-law, Jenny, for being bright and ambitious, and between the two of them raising, their grandson, my grandson, their son, Lucas, Steve D. Levoque. Well, I can never pronounce his name correctly. Steve, for everything he does to make DeWolf work. I know he's been, for a while now, working hard on, promoting things through the socials. I know a reel he put up, I think last week, hit 100,000 views. Could be wrong. A lot. It's whoa. For all the great work he does, bringing in authors, for editing the work they do, to his wife, Rashawn, for just being the most clever, supportive person I can imagine, you winding up with. And I thank you for giving me the shot.
My pleasure.
for,
Thanks.
And for all the DC peeps for doing the great things they do. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to come back. Someday the call may go out, and you might have to come back when and be a special guest, because that happens a lot. People once they come on once, they sort of, they're in the orbit. They come back every now and then. So thank you, and I'll talk to you soon, Howard.
I was
Thank
just
you.
gonna say one thing in the works
Sure.
is a new album from Under Heaven.
Oh wow!
Which is
nice.
mainly me and a collaborator who otherwise plays in death metal bands, and it's all written and tracked and mixed. So there you go.
There you go. All right, Howard. I'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Likewise. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you go. Yeah, it's like potato chips. You just can't come on the show once. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. So that was fantastic. Hey, what are you doing?
Me? Just sitting here watching the show. Yeah,
that was great, huh?
Yeah, that was good. He's a good guy, and
yeah,
it's incredible. I know many people might not know who Kenny Highland is, but
I wasn't sure who Kenny Highland was.
Yeah, he's a Boston guy. He's had a million bands, play with everybody. Remembers what shirt you wore in 1972. It's like really does.
Right. Right.
Really good-hearted guy. So when I saw it was like Kenny Highland, 1977, that was just blew my mind.
Yeah. Howard has an incredible history. And I knew it was going to be great. He's an incredible, knowledgeable music guy.
Yeah.
I mean, just incredible. You know, I felt akin to him. He's a musician. He's a writer. He's done a lot of stuff. So he's got
a good memory. He could speak very well too, which always helps. When you get
and he's going to be down here for this thing at Generation Records too.
Yeah.
So, hey, Sean McNally, what's up, bro?
Sean McNally. Yeah, see, Sean knows. Sean McNally knows. Kenny's a big iconic guy up here.
Right on. All right. Cool.
So,
there you have it.
So I'm trying to feel better, and thank
feel
you for
better.
helping all this stuff.
Drink some water.
Yeah.
Eat some good food, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Take care, my friend.
All right. Well, that's what's up. Drawing today's episode to a close. We will see you this Sunday for Pepper Keenan. Thanks a lot, everybody. Until next time. Do fucked up shit. Do crazy shit, and nothing good will happen to you. Do good things, and good things will happen.
Conditioned by indoctrination, conditioned by society. You're a victim of the digital age, a 21st century casualty. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Conditioned by misinformation.